Welcome back to LEGO Battlebots Season 2. It is time for the final quadrant of the round 32. On to Quadrant 1. We've got a lot of very interesting matches. A rematch between Biohazard and Eye of the Storm. A match between the Flipper King Thunderbolt and the unflippable Huge. The number 1 seed Sawblaze taking on last season's number 4 seed, 32 seed Yeti. But first, it's the 9 seed Tantrum and defending runner-up facing the 24 seed Gingerbread. Of course, the defending runner-up Tantrum, taking the number 9 seed, maybe a bit lower than they'd like, but still a very good seed for any bot. See their total record, 11-2. This is a bot that means business, and has not taken many losses at all. One of the bots it lost to was already gone, and was on the other side of the bracket in the first place. The other bot that it lost to is on the other side of the bracket. So Tantrum is a serious threat to this side of the bracket, and basically any bot. Incredibly powerful vertical spinner, got a decently low wedge. Their armor is kind of unreliable, but that really hasn't stopped them from murdering most of the robots in their path. This bot was the number 1 overall seed last time around, and I can imagine it's one of the favorites to win it all, with this incredible combination of experience, pedigree, and features. But it's taking on a very interesting bot in the 24 seed. Let's go to them. The 24 seed Gingerbread. It's a rookie who's a kind of a lifter control bot hybrid, and for some reason, one of the commentators worships it as a god. I do not know why, but it's apparently it has a cult now. So it's got a it's very interesting to see how this fight plays out. It's got those low wedges, which it could use to get underneath Tantrum. Those wedges are a bit fragile, but they have proven to be able to get underneath bots before. The 2 bots they beat confidently went 1-3, while the best bot they beat went 2-2, and they kind of struggled against that. That was Glitch. So it's good. They have a tough challenge in the first fight, way ahead of any bot they fought against Tantrum, but I could very well see Gingerbread pulling off the upset here. Let's find out what happens in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Gingerbread getting underneath Tantrum early, slams them into the wall and into another wall. Well, this is a very great start for the rookie as they get underneath again. Gingerbread is winning the ground game here. Without that, Tantrum can't deliver the weapon. Gingerbread throws Tantrum into the screws. Tantrum gets flicked, but quickly self-rights, spins that weapon back up, and now gets underneath somehow. Rips off one of the wedges of Gingerbread. Now Gingerbread is very much stuck here. They're upside down, and now they are in the pits. Well, it was a promising start for the rookie. They got underneath Tantrum twice and proved that they could play with the big boys. However, Tantrum was able to find the opening it needed, got underneath, ripped off the wedge of Gingerbread, and flipped it over. Once Gingerbread was stuck, it could not self-right, and Tantrum capitalized, throwing it into the pit for the victory and advancing to the round of 16. They did have quite the scare in the first round. Gingerbread proved he was capable of something, but Tantrum was just too much for the 24 seed. We'll see Gingerbread in Season 3, but the defending runner-up suffers a bit of a scare in the first round, but Tantrum is able to advance to the round of 16 with a knockout win over rookie Gingerbread. Next up, the 8 seed, the Flipper King Thunderbolt, faces the 25 seed and lowest ranked 3-1, Huge. Alright, Thunderbolt, the Flipper King, last season's 4th place, the number 8 seed. You know what it does. It flips, and it just flips bots high. It is the most powerful flipper in the competition. Apollo is more powerful in some scenarios, but Thunderbolt will basically be able to throw any bot out of camera range. But this is Thunderbolt's probably one of its worst matchups against Huge, because it's going to be very difficult to get underneath that bar and flip Huge high. It's also difficult to get under the wheels and Huge high. But Huge is also very invertible, it can self-right easily, so really everything is against Thunderbolts in this fight. It's kind of an underdog.
like in terms of the matchup. Huge is very successful against flippers in real life, and you can see why. Is you can't really get that center of gravity up as easily, but Huge does not have the most powerful weapon, so Thunderbolt still has a decent chance of winning this fight. It just needs to avoid being ripped up, getting some unlucky shots hit from that bar. As for Huge, it hasn't had the greatest of seasons, as it is the lowest ranked 3-1, that should tell you a lot. It also has not had the greatest opponents. I mean, Shatter, Rotator, and Jackpot are all the bots it beat. Jackpot's the best out of those, and it still only went 2-2. The only somewhat competent bot it fought is Red Blow, and it lost to Red Blow. So it's had that great season, but it is coming in with a bit of momentum. It struggled against Shatter, got a better win against Rotator, and then got its knockout win against Jackpot. So it's starting to build up some steam, but Thunderbolt, a very difficult bot for it to knock out. I mean, that weapon is not the most powerful. You kind of need that delivery into your opponent for it to weapon to really do damage. That's just not what Huge has. It somehow went 2-2 last season. Now it's 3-1. It's looking to prove that it has what it takes to be a capable bot, and they've got Thunderbolt. So I don't know how this fight's gonna play out, but we're gonna see it down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Huge comes up. Thunderbolt gets a perfect flip there. That's about the best exchange that Thunderbolt could have gotten right out of the bat. And now it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Huge getting that bar up to speed, landing a couple of shots here and there. Thunderbolt, as you can see, it can't get its flipper to really hit that chassis and send Huge flying. That is the big problem now. That Huge can— oh! Thunderbolt getting 2 shots on the wheels, but Huge, as it normally is completely fine with these flips. Now getting shots on the sides, Huge getting shots on the side of Thunderbolt, but they're doing absolutely nothing. Neither bot has quite the ability to knock out the other. Huge's blade simply isn't powerful enough, while Thunderbolt's flipper can barely even reach Huge in the first place. So it's really, now both bots near the screws. That's really both bots' best bet of winning this fight. Huge kind of getting stuck on the screws. Had one of its support rod, its balance bars over there, and now both bots gets thrown onto the screws in a tangled mess, very similar to how Red Blow and Huge got stuck in Huge's first fight of the season. Now Huge is real stuck, and now there goes a wheel over the wall. Thunderbolt lands the flip it needs, gets Huge in the position it wants, and now the 8th seed will advance to the round of 16 as Huge rolls around and falls out of the arena. Thunderbolt got incredibly lucky in the first flip, getting that bar stuck directly on the flipper and allowing them to land a Huge shot. It really didn't do much, but it was a great moment for your Thunderbolt. They landed 2 more flips, 1 to each wheel, but Huge was able to deliver some more shots, but they just couldn't do anything. That bar of Huge is simply not powerful enough to deliver a knockout blow to most opponents. That's why you've seen him have 2 judge decisions this season. And it was just really a bunch of just small hits by Huge, nothing by Thunderbolt, until both bots got stuck on the screws. And while Huge remained stuck up there, Thunderbolt was able to get off and land a flip that got 1 wheel of Huge out of the arena along with most of the frame, and Huge eventually just rolled out, giving Thunderbolt the win and the position in the round of 16 to face the 9 seed Tantrum. So the 8th seed and defending 4th place Thunderbolt advances to take on the 9 seed defending runner-up Tantrum. The one of last season's top 4 will fall in that fight, and we'll be down to 1 of last season's top 4. It's going to be a very interesting fight, but that's going to be later in the round 16. Next up is a rematch between the 16 seed Biohazard and 17 seed Eye of the Storm. Okay, talking about Biohazard, the 16 seed. Very good against horizontal spinners. That's what it's known for doing. Gigabyte and Eye of the Storm, as you can see, its key wins. It's really good against horizontal spinners. I don't think it's ever lost one. Its big weakness, however, is vertical spinners, and those cheese slope wedges you see on a whole lot of bots, like Sawblaze, Whiplash, Bite Force, the other glitch, Tantrum. So many bots have those wedges, and Biohazard just can't counter those. Fortunately for them, they're in a rematch with Eye of the Storm. And the last time, earlier this season, their fight against Eye of the Storm didn't really go to plan, but they were still able to pull out the win. They're looking to make the round of 16 for the second season in a row, and they have the perfect matchup to do so. As for its opponent, Eye of the Storm, it's done better this season. It went 3-1, one of those wins against a very unfortunate Riptide, but they're proven that they can be a very capable bot. They're the number 17 overall seed. Pretty nice season for them. Now they have to face a bot who has beaten them twice. Yeah, Eye of the Storm is not gonna beat Biohazard, I don't think. Biohazard's wedge is just too strong. Just very difficult for really anybody that's a big horizontal spinner to defeat Biohazard. But let's see what happens down in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Biohazard immediately turns around, immediately deflects Eye of the Storm. They get slammed around the corner a little bit. Biohazard just looking for the opportunity to pin Eye of the Storm, and he has it. He has the lift, and Eye of the Storm is out of the arena. Biohazard once again proving that it is pretty much invincible to horizontal spinners. Eye of the Storm getting deflected a couple times for Biohazard to pin them once, and then use the one lift they had that they did in that fight, and threw Eye of the Storm out of the arena for another place in the round of 16. Biohazard is in the round of 16 for the second tournament in a row. And for our final fight of the first round of the bracket, the number 1 overall seed Sawblaze will take on last season's 4 seed, the current 32 seed Yeti. Alright, the number 1 overall seed, the bot you've been waiting for all tournament, Sawblaze. Sawblaze has been on an absolute tear. It's been an incredible control bot this season. Wins over Emergency, Glitch, Nemesis, and Siege Engine. Sawblaze has just defeated every robot in its path, and with big wins over the 5 and 7 seeds, they take the number 1 overall seed. And while they do have incredible control capabilities, those forks are very vulnerable to being ripped off, which is why they're actually going with their anti-spinner wedge for this fight. Now, I think Sawblaze has a significant advantage over Yeti, but if Yeti gets a few lucky shots, then this fight could very well turn in favor of the 32 seed. The 32 seed Yeti sneaking in at the lowest possible ranking. They were last season's number 4 overall seed, made it all the way to the top 8 before falling to eventual 3rd place Uppercut. Now they barely get in. They defeated the defending champion at Gigabyte with relative ease, but they lost to Lucky and Stormbound pretty brutally. They are a very durable and a very heavy machine, but they do not do well in the ground game whatsoever, which is very unfortunate against a bot like Sawblaze, whose main thing is the ground game and getting underneath you and controlling you. I don't think this fight's going to go to a knockout. I think this is going to be a long brawl, probably a judge decision. And we're going to find out if the 1 seed will advance or the 32 seed will pull off the impossible upset in the arena. Let the bot battle begin. Sawblaze scoops up Yeti just as expected. Now trying to get them into the screws. Yeti is now stuck on there. Now Sawblaze kind of gets pushed up there a little bit. But now, Yeti gets thrown out of the arena. Are you kidding me? That's gotta be one of the fastest fights of the tournament. Sawblaze scooped up Yeti, threw them into the screws, and then used their hammer saw to push Yeti out of the arena. The number 1 seed is not playing around this bracket. They are in the round of 16 for the first time in their career. The number 1 seed joins the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 seeds in the round of 16. Sawblaze will have a very fortunate match for them against the 16 seed Biohazard. Meanwhile, Thunderbolt taking on Tantrum.
And that's going to be all for the round of 32. Next episode, we will cover the right side of the round of 16, and then after that, we'll cover the left side. Then it's going to be an all-out 8-fight episode to the championship. That's all for now. See you in the round 16.